Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, I am Megan and this is the Lifestyle Edit. Today I'm kind of catching up with you. So if you're ready, let's go ahead and jump in. It has definitely been a little while and I have really missed you guys. If you saw my video last week, that is one I've had in my archive probably for the last 2 months. I think I filmed that before the Sephora sale. And when I filmed the Sephora sale, of course, I wanted to make sure that it got uploaded and out to you guys within time of the sale. And then I think I had another video after that. And this is where we are. Life has been very busy. And I thought I would just take the time to catch up with you guys, kind of let you know what's going on in my life, and hopefully hear from you as well to see what's going on in yours. So I am actually putting on makeup today to test out what I want to take with me on my upcoming trip. And I'm not really going to talk about the products. I may try to, share them before I start applying them, just so you kind of know what I'm using. But I will have everything linked below in the description box or via link so that you can find those. And if they are affiliate, you will see that asterisk next to it so that you're aware that it may give me a commission. It does not affect the price to you, but anything that generates from using those links, I just put back into my channel if I need to repurchase something or if I'd like to try something new that I think you guys may be interested in, things like that. It also helps with equipment. I actually have a new microphone coming in a couple of days and I'm so super excited for that. My friend Will actually talked about this microphone and I was able to find it and I ordered it, but it took longer to get the version that I wanted. Some of them came with different plugins and things like that, and I didn't need all of those. And for some reason, instead of 2 days, it was like, oh, it's going to be 2 weeks. And I thought, this is crazy, but whatever. But it looks like I will have it before the trip. So you might get some stuff from me during the trip. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, so I'm going to try on this makeup and I am just going to talk to you guys about some things that have changed or that's going on in life right now. And let's start with maybe the most obvious, maybe not if you haven't seen me in a while, but I cut my hair. Now it has been a month at this point since I got my hair cut, and I probably had 2.5 to 3 inches cut off. It was really long. It was very heavy. If I let it air dry, you really didn't get this wave. It just looked straighter, but not straight, if that makes sense. I'm not really sure what's in between straight and a wave, but it was whatever that was, because my hair was just so heavy that it wasn't, giving this nice wave. And so I told my stylist, I said, listen, I'm starting to be hot all the time. And I, what was it? Oh, and I really want a minimal hair routine. I'm already kind of hair lazy. You guys see my hair the same way all the time. That there's a reason for that. I just don't have the patience to learn how to style my hair differently. So I said I would really like to be able to wash it, maybe put in a product or two and let it air dry if at all possible. And she said, yeah, we can totally do that. You have great waves. I don't think my hair has always been wavy. I think it's progressively gotten wavier as I've gotten older. And as I told a friend of mine, and I think I told my stylist, I said, I now understand why women cut their hair after a certain age or once they start going through perimenopause or menopause or whatever. When those hot flashes start, it's a lot. And if you have thick hair, then that probably makes it harder. So she did a great job. She did an amazing cut. She did cut it so that it could do this wave a little bit better, a little easier, without a ton of, work. And so I actually, in the last month or however long it's been, I have not straightened my hair. I've not used a blow dryer other than to use a diffuser to kind of help, dry this and help with the wave. That's it. I have not used the concentrator. I've not because it takes half an hour to blow dry my hair fully and to style it. And I'm just tired and I get so hot. So if you feel the same way, if you have similar thoughts and you're like, should I cut my hair? Go for it. I did that. I really love it. I mean, I don't know if you can see, it's definitely messier than what I'm used to. It's messier than what you're used to seeing on camera. I think I may ask when I see my stylist after vacation, because she's going on a vacation too and we're going to miss each other. I would really maybe like to do a little bit more with the curtain bang instead of just kind of having it so long. Maybe giving a little bit more of a definition to a bang length, but definitely keeping it longer and being able to do a little bit more of the curtain look, because I'm not great at it. But when this, I noticed, air dries and it's kind of wavy. When I try to do something with this, it doesn't really do anything. So I definitely need some help, but that's obviously for a professional to help me with. So, but if you have ideas, please leave me a comment. Leave me a suggestion. I'll take anything. I'm pretty sure I have a cowlick, because this side will stay nice and, up or whatever. And this side likes to plaster the side of my head. So yay. But yeah, so I'm going to apply some makeup. I don't want to bring you guys in too close because it's not a tutorial or anything like that. And you're going to see me drinking coffee because I love coffee. And this is a very cool cup that we got in London. It is a Starbucks cup. I don't love Starbucks. My husband really likes Starbucks, but after this last trip, he really got into the mugs, the You Are Here, I think they're called, the You Are Here mugs. They have them for states and they have them for specific cities, and they have them for countries and cities in other countries. This one is a totally different style of mug. This is not the You Are Here, but this was a specific to London mug. And you see the clock face on Big Ben has some color to it, and the red phone booth, and then the Starbucks logo, and that's it. It's black and white, which is my favorite. And it does say London on the inside of it. So I thought that was cute. So he got this for us. But we have, I think he's gotten mugs for every city or country that we've been in and a couple of the states that we visited already. Because it's nice to be sitting there on the back patio on the weekend, sipping our coffee, and we look at the other person's mug and go, oh, do you remember that time such and such happened? Do you remember that time such and such happened? And it's like, oh, how cool and fun is that to just be able to sit here and reminisce and, maybe think about upcoming trips that are happening. So that being said, we are taking a trip that I was not expecting. So we are going on a trip to Switzerland and to northern Italy. And both of these are new places to us. And I'm really excited. We have a friend. If you've been with me for the last couple of years, the very first trip that we took was to Finland, Ireland, and England, specifically London, because I've always wanted to go there. I have family history there, and so I have just always wanted to go and explore. So we went to Finland because a friend of ours was playing American football over there. So if you're sad that it's not football season right now and you're looking for something to watch outside of football season, let me tell you, I think it's called the AFL, but I will look and link it below, or tell you about it in the description box with more of a title if that's incorrect. But they have a league, and there are 10 countries that each have a team, and so the teams are going to travel around. And we're so proud of our friend. He has played European football the last couple of years. Like I said, our first trip to Finland was to watch him play. It was my first international trip. My husband's first, for fun international trip. He was in the military, so he did get to travel a little bit for that. And anyway, so it was our first, trip like that together. And it was amazing, to watch him play and to see him, do all those things and to go around a city and explore it together. I mean, it was just really cool. And he is playing in Switzerland, and we're super excited for him. And so, unfortunately, on this trip, we're not going to get to see him play. We were worried about running out of time planning and getting some of our stuff set up, plane tickets over there and things like that. And as I said, we are actually going to a wedding as well. So we knew that we had to be in a specific place on specific dates. And so we weren't able to wait as long as necessary to get his schedule. So his first game is actually away when we come into town. And then the game after is in the same country that we'll be in, but it'll be quite a distance away. It would almost be like being in Pensacola, Florida, and then the game being in Miami. Like, it's quite a distance. So it's not going to make sense for us to see him play, unfortunately, but we should be able to get some time with him in between while we're visiting. So we're going to be in Switzerland and visiting some places. We're definitely going to the Alps, which is I'm super excited for. I'm not really an outdoorsy type person, but the views. I think the views will be, incredible. And that's really what I want to see aside from our friend. So, so we are looking forward to that. And then after Switzerland, we will be traveling to northern Italy. And that is also somewhere that we have not been before. And, everyone's telling us how amazing it is. We're staying pretty much with the smaller places and cities, and, like, we're actually not going to Milan. As much as I think Milan would be a great place to see, and, it might be kind of neat. It's just not quite. My husband wants to stick closer to like smaller places, and I agree with him. I think sometimes we do a little bit better with a smaller scene. Sometimes the bigger cities can be a little bit overwhelming. So we're going to stay toward the northern Italy, around some of the lakes and things like that. We're really looking forward to the wedding for our friends. Super exciting. And we do actually go to Venice for a couple of days, which I think will be great. It'll just be nice, I think, to try something a little bit different, go somewhere different, see an entirely different culture that we're not familiar with or used to. So I think that'll be nice. And then, let me see what else. And then I think that's it. So it's just 2 weeks this time. We were not originally planning a trip this year, but we decided, this is definitely something that we want to do. And so we decided to make it a 2-week trip, and that's all she wrote. So that's where we're going right now with that. So those are the biggest things that have really changed, or that we have upcoming. I am working on a certification for work, and that has been taking up a lot of my time. And so that's why you haven't seen me lately. I have been very, very diligent in trying to plan and study. I have not done school in so long. I did a license several years ago when I started with the company that I work for right now. I got an insurance license, and I don't really use it. So it can be hard sometimes to keep up with. But this is a full-blown, it's a 3-part course. It's definitely something different that I'm not used to. I don't like that bronzer on me. I was hoping to take this with me, but I don't think I can. Let me see. I have this other bronzer. Let me see if this is any better, but this might be kind of a, I don't know, I just feel like it has kind of an orangey, you know, and I know obviously bronzer is supposed to be warm, but I just feel like, I don't know, it's not the right shade for my skin tone. And I don't want to, I think that warmed it up a little bit and took away some of that orange because it's just a little bit more terracotta. So we're going to put that up here. Anyway, so yeah, so part of the reason you haven't seen me in such a long time is because of that. It's definitely been difficult. And if you have to get a certification for work, if you are, you know, trying to learn something new, the sooner you can do it, the better. You know, I'm 99% sure that I'm probably going through perimenopause, and they are not kidding when they say perimenopause brain. I will be in the middle of a conversation and I will forget a word. It'll just totally escape my brain, and I will try everything in my power to try and remember it, or try to describe the word I'm talking about, or even trying to use a synonym of that word. And a lot of times it just doesn't work. And I don't know why. So that's been really tough. I am going to try something else. I was really hoping to take this with me so that I would have the finishing powders, the highlight, the bronzer, but that bronzer is not going to work for me. So I think I'm just going to have to figure something else out, which means I just need to put on a different blush. I haven't used this one in a while, and this is a pretty one for spring. This is the Wild Meadows Blush Apple Blossom from Chantecaille. I don't even think I've used this that much, but yeah, I haven't used it at all. You can still see the flower on it. So anyway, since I wasn't going to talk about products, but yeah, if you have to study or do something, I recommend doing it as soon as possible, because I don't remember anything. I'm having a little bit of a difficult time retaining information, and so I'm very nervous. I actually have my exam the day before we leave, and that was not my original plan. My original plan was to take it a week before we leave, but I waited a little too long to register because of the cost, and the only day they had was the day before. So my vacation actually starts a day early, which is okay. I'm okay with that, but I definitely wasn't expecting that. Like, I'm a little nervous about it. So yeah, so it'll be interesting for sure. But you know what? It'll be fine. It'll be fine, because it is what it is. I have to wait 2 weeks for, to find out if I passed or not. I think 3 weeks. So, or it could be up to 3 weeks, I guess, before you get your official standing. They don't do, what's it called? They don't do like a preliminary result right away. I don't know if that's because people end up on the fence where they could pass, you know, they might be passing, they might not, and then they find out the opposite. And maybe that's upsetting to people. I would definitely be upset if I thought I passed and then I didn't, you know, found out I didn't. So I understand, you know, having that type of rule. But it definitely makes things a little more difficult, and not everyone likes to wait. I can be a very patient person, but I don't think I'll be patient during this. So I'm really glad actually that it's like the day before and then I'm gone for 2 weeks. So it'll be a little bit easier not to think about it, because I could have waited to take the exam after I got back. But again, I was afraid I wouldn't remember anything with this brain. So I chose to do it a little bit differently. And I'm happy with that. I think it'll work out for the best. I'm missing a brush. Hold on. Brush, word. I'm just losing it all. Okay, so yeah, so the exam has been a big thing for me, trying to figure out what I'm going to do about all of that. So that's why you haven't seen me. And I probably said that 8 times already, so I apologize. You're probably like, okay, move on. All right. So we talked about my haircut. We talked about work, and we talked about the upcoming trip. And that's really it. There really isn't a lot else going on. We are celebrating our 1 year of having Junie in our life. My husband found her a year ago at work, and she has been a part of our family ever since. So we have had that celebration, which has been amazing. And the other 2 dogs are having their birthdays coming up as well. So definitely a lot of celebrating going around. My stepson is hopefully on his way to being a fireman. So that's very exciting. He's going to be starting his career hopefully soon, and he's got plans for, things that he wants to do here in the future and eventually accomplish. So hopefully we'll get to see him do that. And I think that's about it. I know I probably made it sound like there were all these changes and things happening, and it's really just that simple that little things here and there, not necessarily world-changing things. World-changing for us, not necessarily anyone else. And I am toying with the idea with a very good friend of mine of doing a travel agency. I don't know if people still use travel agencies. Obviously, you can use Expedia or Kayak or, some of those online engines to help you with planning and things like that. Now you can use AI for a lot of stuff. But you know what? I still appreciate human interaction. I still want human interaction. When you travel, you're going to have a lot of human interaction. So I just kind of feel like, why not, help people that need it and want it to plan special things. I've had people ask me for help, and I've given help even if they haven't asked for it, because that's how I am. Usually I ask first, would you like some help with that? Do you know what that means? Do you know anything about where you're going? What are you expecting? Can I tell you what you should expect? Kind of a thing. Because people can obviously make their own decisions and figure stuff out on their own. But I have learned that if you've been through it, people want your advice. If you say, hey, I've been there before, and they say, tell me about it. What can I expect? How was your experience? Did you have issues? And people really respond to that. So my friend and I are thinking about starting a travel agency. And so I'm interested to know if you would be interested in that. Would you be, maybe you're not in a position to travel right now, or it's not on your list of something to do right now. But if you were going to travel, if you were planning a trip just for yourself or with your significant other, or maybe you're planning a trip for your family. I can be honest with you and tell you that's not something that I know much about, but my friend has a family, and so she would be a little bit more equipped to answer some of those family-friendly questions. And I just think, I like my job. I did well, I guess another thing that has changed is that I actually switched positions at work. I think I talked about this in one of my last videos. I don't know that I've really mentioned it since then, or, well, not, because I haven't really done any videos. So I don't remember if I mentioned it or not, but I did change positions at work. I just felt like I needed a change, and that there were some things going on in the department I was in that I wanted a change for myself. Um, it was time. It was time. And so, that being said, I found another department and I met with, I had some questions, I asked questions, and then I went to my manager and said, this is what I would like to do. I'd like to apply for this position. And it went really fast, actually. I don't know if that's good or bad, but we're going to take it as a good thing. I am now where I'm supposed to be. I'm still with the same company, but I'm just in a completely different department. I'm on a different floor. I'm with totally different people. I really don't see anyone from my old position, except for the one or two people that I keep in touch with. And that's it. So, but that's the way it works. I have friends at the company that have moved from different departments, from the department we worked in together to other departments, and I still keep in touch with them. So, that it just kind of works out. So anyway, so I switched departments. So I'm really enjoying that so far. We are having some changes at work and some moving things around and whatnot. So, working with all of that, because I'm not great with change, but I know change is inevitable. And especially in business, there tends to be, change. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm excited for what's coming, and I'm probably not going to do any packing videos for you guys like I did last year, because I just did it last year, even though the climates are going to be a little different. We're not expecting the rain and things like that. Being in the Alps, we will have to deal with cooler weather, the higher elevations, and what's the word? Possibly snow, even though, it's summer for us. And then in northern Italy, we will have more summer temperatures probably. But I think even in Switzerland, it's still getting warmer. So we'll still have warmer weather. It's just when we go into the Alps and you go into the higher elevations, obviously it's cooler. So there's that. So let me know if you guys have any ideas for things you'd like to see. Do you want to see me unpack? Maybe you want to see me unpack. I can tell you what worked, what didn't work, what I used, what I didn't use. I do plan on using the Sudoku packing method for clothes, which is, I can explain that later. But if you're interested in that, I can take you through that and how that worked. We're checking bags this time, so I'm super nervous about that. So please pray or send out some positive vibes that we do not lose our luggage, or the airline doesn't lose our luggage. Because it's also not a direct flight this time, so I'm nervous about that. I'm trying to keep positive attitude and realize it's out of my control. I just need to let it, happen. And I'm trying to be a little more intentional with what I'm taking with me, so that I'm not overpacking and I'm only taking what I really need and what I know I'm going to use. So things like that. So I can do all of that, and then I can also go over some maybe tips and tricks for packing, or on how to figure out what to take with you, stuff like that, because overpacking is a real thing for a lot of people, and it can be difficult. So, we can talk through that if you'd like. If there's another type of video you'd like to see from me, I am trying to lean more into that lifestyle and not just beauty, which I know has been a little difficult. I do feel like some beauty overlaps. For instance, my last video was an empties video, and so while yes, I'm talking about beauty products or products that I've used, I'm also giving you reviews and helping you make decisions that are financial decisions, purchasing decisions, helping you weed out what may or may not work for you so that you're not, spending money that maybe you don't need to. Maybe you stick with the product you already have, or maybe if the product you have isn't working for you, you decide to try something new. So it's not just beauty related, but it's also critical thinking. At the same time, we're working together, right? There's more to it than just, hey, I'm just watching this fun video. So I really appreciate you guys sticking with me. I know I repeated myself a lot. I know this ran over a lot longer than I meant for it to. I just wanted to make sure that I got a chance to catch up with you guys. And my videos are still going to be sporadic. I'm not on an exact time frame. I'm not even on a specific day of the week at this point. So I will upload videos when I have them. But if you guys have ideas, or if there's something specific that you'd like to see, I'd really love to hear from you in the comments, or you can send me a DM on Instagram, or my email is in the description box. Send me an email and I will make sure to read it and reply. I love hearing from you guys. So please remember to like, subscribe, share my channel with your friends or family, anyone who is around my age, or who might get some, just get maybe some inspiration and some positivity. And maybe if you just need a friend, I'm here for that. And if you want to collaborate with me, I'd love to collaborate. Send me a message, an email, whatever, and we can work that out as well. I'm working on a collaboration over on Instagram right now with a friend of mine, so that's super exciting. And yeah, I haven't done a collaboration since last year with Will, who's in Scotland. So I would love to collaborate if that's something that you're interested in. So I hope you guys are just doing fabulous. I really do. Please remember to be kind to yourselves, be kind to others. And as always, I will see you sometime in the future. Love you guys. Bye.